The Nightmares of Chernobyl, Monster Sightings. Hey folks! Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're stepping into one of the most haunting and enigmatic places on the planet, the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Ever since I first heard about Pripyat and the Chernobyl nuclear disaster, I've been fascinated, not just by the history, but by the eerie stories and legends that have emerged. From sightings of mysterious creatures to tales of bizarre phenomena, Chernobyl has become a hotspot for some seriously spooky stuff. Have you ever wondered what really goes on in a place that's been deserted for decades, where radiation still lingers, and nature has begun to reclaim what humans left behind? We're delving into the nightmares of Chernobyl, the monster sightings that have both terrified and intrigued people around the world. Whether you're a history buff, a fan of the paranormal, or just someone who loves a good story, trust me, you won't want to miss this one. The Chernobyl disaster unveiled, on April 26, 1986, a date etched into history. Reactor 4 at the Chernobyl nuclear power plant experienced a catastrophic failure. A massive power surge led to explosions, destroying the reactor core and releasing highly radioactive material. The immediate impact was devastating. 2 plant workers lost their lives that night, and over the following weeks, 28 more people succumbed to acute radiation sickness. Evacuations began, and over 100,000 residents were relocated. Imagine being told to leave your home immediately, not knowing if you'd ever return. Many left personal belongings and cherished memories behind. The radioactive fallout spread across large parts of Europe. Agricultural lands were contaminated, leading to health risks and economic losses. Decades later, the area within a 30-kilometer radius remains largely uninhabited, a ghostly reminder of the disaster. Birth of legends. In the disaster's aftermath, fear and uncertainty sparked imagination in unsettling ways. Abandoned towns and the fear of the unknown created the perfect breeding ground for eerie stories. People speculated about radiation and mutations. Could it create new species or monsters? Rumors spread, and soon, strange creatures and unexplained phenomena became part of the Chernobyl narrative. Humans have a long history of creating legends to explain the unexplainable. From ancient myths about sea monsters to modern urban legends, stories fill the gaps in understanding. In Chernobyl, these stories were fueled by genuine fears and the eerie atmosphere of a place frozen in time. Documented wildlife changes. Scientists have been studying Chernobyl's environment extensively. Surprisingly, the exclusion zone has become a haven for wildlife, with animals reclaiming the land. Radiation has caused some genetic mutations in plants and animals. Birds exhibit albinism, insects show abnormalities, and trees have growth deformities. However, these mutations are subtle and don't result in giant creatures. While radiation can cause genetic changes, they are not as dramatic as science fiction suggests. Most mutations are harmful to organisms, reducing their survival chances, not turning them into superpowered beings. Notable monster sightings legends. The Black Bird of Chernobyl. In the days before the disaster, workers reported seeing a large, dark creature with huge wings and red eyes, the Black Bird of Chernobyl. These sightings were said to warn of the impending catastrophe, reminiscent of the Mothman legend from Point Pleasant. Some believe it's a harbinger of doom, while skeptics suggest it's misidentified wildlife. Tales of giant catfish in cooling ponds. The tales of giant catfish in the cooling ponds are intriguing. Visitors have reported massive catfish, the size of cars. Radiation might have an effect, but the cooling ponds offer ideal living conditions, safe, predator-free, and with plenty of food. Seeing a massive catfish surface in those eerie waters is enough to send a shiver down anyone's spine. Stories of mutated wolves and other creatures. Some stories involve mutated wolves and animals with strange behaviors. Visitors have reported overly aggressive wolves or creatures with odd features. While radiation has impacted wildlife, changes are typically less sensational. Behavioral changes could be due to the lack of human presence, leading animals to be less fearful or more territorial. Investigating the myths. From a scientific perspective, radiation causes mutations, but the reality is often less dramatic. Many mutations are lethal or disadvantageous, so organisms don't survive long. The idea of radiation creating supersized creatures is more a product of science fiction. Psychology plays a role. The exclusion zone's unsettling environment and history can lead to misinterpretations of natural occurrences. The power of suggestion is strong. If you expect to see something spooky, your mind might accommodate that expectation. Some stories may be embellished for attention, especially in the age of social media and viral content. The resilience of nature. One of the most astonishing aspects of Chernobyl is how nature has reclaimed the area. Wildlife has flourished with humans out of the picture. Birds nest in abandoned buildings, plants grow through pavement cracks, and large mammals roam freely. It's an unintended wildlife sanctuary, offering insights into ecosystem responses to extreme events. Nature's ability to bounce back is remarkable. Despite radiation, the exclusion zone has become a thriving ecosystem. Some scientists call it a paradox, an environment that's both contaminated and ecologically rich. Long-term studies are needed to understand the full impact on genetics and health. But the rebound offers valuable insights into how nature copes with extreme stressors. Cultural impact of Chernobyl monsters. These legends have influenced media and pop culture worldwide. Movies, video games, and books depict Chernobyl as a place of horror. Titles like the Stalker game series and movies like Chernobyl Diaries amplify these myths. These portrayals shape public perception, often emphasizing fear. While thrilling, they can perpetuate misconceptions about radiation and its effects. This fuels tourism. People are drawn to the exclusion zone, intrigued by mystery and the possibility of encountering something otherworldly. It's a mix of thrill-seeking and curiosity. Science versus fiction. It's important to differentiate between sensational stories and scientific facts. While legends make for captivating tales, they often overshadow real lessons. Critical thinking is key. Enjoy myths but appreciate the real impact and ecological responses. Radiation is a complex subject, and misconceptions can lead to unnecessary fear or complacency. Balancing interest in the supernatural with a thirst for knowledge helps us appreciate both the myths and the realities. So there you have it, the haunting legends and realities behind the monster sightings of Chernobyl. It's a place where history, science, and myth intertwine, creating a tapestry both fascinating and sobering. Our fascination with the unknown drives us to explore and question. But it's important to seek out facts and understand the world with a critical eye. Chernobyl is a reminder of human fallibility and nature's resilience. Whether you believe in the legends, there's no denying this place's profound impact. Thanks for joining me on this journey into Chernobyl's nightmares. Remember to stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the unknown.